Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, species around the multiverse, welcome to Geek Syndicate. And what do we do here? We put the sass into geekdom. My name is Monts, and with me, as always, is...
I just want to give a public service announcement. Obviously, we've been off the air for a while. So to all them podcasters that were saying about us, I know you people are, man, saying that we were done, saying that we were finished, saying that we're out. I just want to quote my boy Nick Fury and say, I'm the Nuge, bitch, and even when I'm out, I'm in.
Is this from Secret Invasion? Because I'm like, should I be... I haven't rushed to my screen to watch this.
Well, first off, I should clarify to say, if you're a new listener, my real name is actually Barry Anthony.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump right in there. I was just like, hold on a minute.
Yeah. I'm gonna mention Secret. No. I'll give it a quick mention now. Overall, I enjoyed Secret Invasion. So Secret Invasion is the latest TV show.
I haven't seen anyone say anything good about it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm here to buck that trend.
Hey!
Look, I'm gonna come out straight off and say it's got issues. Do you know what I mean? Which seems to be a kind of running theme at the moment with a lot of the Marvel stuff. You know what I mean? Nothing seems to be like just great at the moment. Everything seems to be either like, yeah, it was good, you know, a couple of issues, or it's all right, or just downright awful. Man, you know.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was awful, man.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, put it this way. This is what I came out of it saying to my wife. I really enjoyed that. It was, of course, a whole heap of nonsense, and I'll never watch it again. But I'm glad I saw it. that's how I came out of that one.
My biggest problem with Ant-Man, with the third Ant-Man film, was the fact that I liked Ant-Man where he was doing like heist type
family stuff, really family orientated rather than the cosmic.
Yeah, and
it kind of worked. I'm right there with you.
And he had these boys with him that were always cracking jokes and stuff, and the guy was always telling the stories and stuff. That's why I liked those films.
Yeah, because for me, that first Ant-Man film, that was a change in. I was starting to go, yeah, Marvel, I'm still enjoying it, but it's all kind of a bit the same. And then Ant-Man came along, and I went, this is a guy just trying to get back to his family and trying to make his family full. And I like that scale of it, actually. So I hear you.
And it was a comedy, and it was, and it worked on multiple levels. And I think with Quantum Mania, I just wasn't really that engaged with it, like, at all, because he doesn't work in that, for me anyway, he didn't work in that setting for me. It just felt generic, you know, a generic Marvel film, really. And I'm at that stage.
I actually forgot it was a Marvel film. It didn't feel like one.
Yeah, it didn't really.
Which for me was a plus.
Yeah. Work. The thing was, so going back to Secret Invasion, premise was good. I don't care what anyone says. I'll argue this with anyone. You do. Samuel Jackson, my boy, delivered some monologues in that show, man.
Okay, all right.
He dropped some monologue bombs, man. Where I was like, okay. It was definitely trying to go for that kind of slower paced spy thriller type thing, which I think you'd probably quite like.
I was going to say, I'm not averse to that.
Yeah. I think weirdly, some people might disagree. I think my problem with it, I actually think it needed more episodes to breathe.
Okay.
And it could have done...
Because what I'm seeing is people going, it's way too slow.
But the problem is I can kind of see why people are saying that. But here's my problem, right? It's not a problem. Here's my thing, right? Again, people are going to disagree with me. I know you ain't, because I know you love this show. The tone you should be licking with that show for me was like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
And it wasn't hitting that tone once.
Okay.
It wasn't hitting that pace for me. But there was some good stuff in there. There was some good dynamics in there. And the sort of villain, he dropped a couple of good monologues himself as well. Although by the end, I was kind of like, I'm not quite sure why people are following this dude.
Right, yeah.
So, it just, I don't know, it almost felt like you could have condensed it into 3 episodes of a larger story.
Mm.
You know, but I applauded what they were trying to go with. And also, I think part of it as well, they then ended in that kind of typical Marvel, without spoiling it, but that kind of whole we need to have a big sort of set piece. We can't end up, we can't have a Marvel film, doesn't it, with some kind of big set piece showdown type thing.
Yeah.
And I think it jarred against the kind of show you were trying to do before that, which was actually a kind of slow-paced spy show.
I think I know what you're looking for. You are looking for a Marvel version of the original Mission Impossible TV series.
Yes. But the problem with that is, I think if you aired that now, for a lot of people, they would struggle with it because they'd say it was too slow.
No, yeah. I mean, I remember watching the original Christopher Reeve Superman and loving it. Again, whoa. At the time, it didn't feel slow to me, but man, this film's slow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I didn't mean to jump into that one straight away.
That's fine. That's intro done. So we're back.
We are back. It's a while. It's been a bit like that. Gonna try and I keep saying gonna try and be a bit more frequent, but life, man.
Yeah, you know how it goes.
Yeah, life.
So but the two people are still watching us, not watching us.
That'd be weird.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Back off, man.
Yeah, glad you stayed with us. You too. You know you are.
Yeah. So I've got I'm drinking tea, so you know.
Yeah. Yes, me too.
Yeah. So can I do news?
Gordon. Have you not got any shouts? Have you not got any shout-outs?
Nah.
Okay, Gordon.
I've got 2 bits of news.
Oh no, I want to give a shout out.
Good.
I want to give a shout out to everyone out there. You know, the people who supported me on my driving journey over the last couple of years, because I'm now on the road.
Yay!
All right, man. Do you want to make that a little bit realer?
Oh, that's great, man.
Do you know what? Forget it. I thought you were supposed to be an actor, man.
Yeah, I didn't have time to do my research.
Right. Okay.
Find my motivation, you know what I mean?
Find your voice. He's my friend. He's my best friend. What am I trying to say? What am I trying to say?
Right, ready now. Right, here we go. Yeah. Yeah, man. Love.
I mean, damn, it's hardly King Lear for you. Do you know what I mean? Just roll up and say, well done, dude. That's it.
No, this might be a little bit beyond my skills.
So, right, I took a picture, right? So, there's a geek link to this. So, I took a picture. So, obviously I've passed my driving test. I have my own car, which is a black Mini. And Sue has a Mini, which is a green Mini. And I took a picture of the Minis and they're kind of like back to back. So,
okay, I see what you did.
Right, so now, right, Sue doesn't know this, but obviously Sue isn't Sue Nugent. Sue has her own. So I'm not going to say her surname out on, I was going to say national TV. We're not. What's the TV thing, man? But Sue kept her name. So, but now I'm on a whole mission now to get her to change her surname to Nugent, because then we can do our own show like Heart to Heart.
I was just about to say you're going to do Heart to Heart.
Yeah, you know it.
Nugent to Nugent, Nuge to Nuge.
Nuge to Nuge. Do you know what I mean?
And when they met, it was murder.
He's a self-made millionaire. That's Mrs. Nuge. She's a knockout. My name's Dave Monteith. They call me Monts. I put them together. But when they met, it was murder.
Yeah, that was it.
Man. Reboot.
Oh, man. I just feel like someone needs to do like a CGI trailer. Heart to Heart, man. They don't make shows like they used to. You know what? More and more, I'm starting to sound like a grumpy old man. I've just been watching so much retro stuff and just
Have you watched that Poker Face yet? Have you heard of? Is it called Poker Face? I want to say it's called Poker Face. You know there was the show which I think was called. She was
a TV series.
Yeah.
Oh, with what's her name?
Yeah, nice one. Natasha Leon?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
She is basically a reboot of Columbo.
Oh, really?
Have you not seen, mate? Because you were talking about old school TV, you need to go watch that show. I haven't finished.
The weird thing is, this week I said to myself, I'd love to go back and watch some old Columbo. Because I think I saw someone say they watched an episode of Columbo recently, and they said it's astounding that the title character didn't make an appearance in the episode for 21 minutes.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But also, right, with Columbo, if I was ever planning to murder someone, I would just go and pick up some episodes of Columbo, because every episode, the first 20 minutes, right, it's the most intricate murder and alibi setup you could imagine. Where you think, well, boy, that William Shatner's got away with it, man. Because there's always some famous dude as well, William Shatner or Leonard Nimoy or someone else. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, nah, there's no way he's getting caught because that murder is like perfect. Do you know what I mean?
And Columbo just comes along with his
just comes along, man, for the next hour and a half and just hassles them.
And then, I can see Natasha Lyonne doing that justice.
Yeah, it is basically that. But what's so good about it is it's a Columbo reboot, but I didn't realise it until I was watching it.
Right.
And I got to the end of the first episode and I went, that was basically Columbo. That is how you do a reboot or a reinvention. Don't call it Columbo. Just do your thing and let people
draw
their own
absolutely.
conclusion.
And that way you don't...
I was just going to say.
Yeah, if they call it Columbo, you were just like, what?
Yeah.
Stepping off from it. But no. Yeah, nice. Anyway, I've got 2 bits of news.
Go on then. News, hit it.
Nice. First one is, as we record this, in 2 days' time, is the release of a computer game.
Okay, I'm assuming that's supposed to be something important because of the way you kind of left the dramatic.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah. Go on then. I know what this is, but go on.
And the news is, I'm in it. I can finally say it. I've been holding onto this shit for 3 years, man. And I looked in my I was looking at my email. I did my first bit of mocap work for Baldur's Gate 3 in July 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's coming out now. And I've just made up, man. I play various characters. I just can't remember. There's so many. I can't remember who they are. So if you come across somebody you think is me, let me know.
Wow. So I've got a couple of bits of news. I'm trying to. Hang on a second. I just need to. Here we go. Right. So, sad day. I went to my uncle's. There's a nice end. I went to my uncle's funeral a couple of weeks ago, and I got talking to one of my cousins from the States, who informed me that she was just chatting because she knew I was a writer and she was talking about she was interested in me working with her on something and blah blah blah. And we were just talking. I was giving some advice. Anyway, she was saying like I said to her like, oh, I'm like a proper geek and stuff like that, and she said, she calls her a sister, but basically it's like a kind of best friend and she's like her sister.
Yeah.
A sister. And I was like, cool, And see, I can't say the person's name because she told me her name, and to begin with, I didn't recognize the name. If I tell you the name straight off, you know who it is. So she told me the name. And I was like, sounds familiar. She said, yeah, she's been in a couple of shows. She was in Casualty, and I was like, yeah, okay. And then she pulled up a picture of her, and basically she's got arm around her because they'd gone somewhere, and they're like, hey, like it would be me and you.
Yeah.
I looked at that picture, Dave. I lost my flipping mind because you know who the woman was?
No.
Do you know who Joe Martin is?
No. Seriously.
Tell the good listeners who Joe Martin is.
So Joe Martin, we're friends on Facebook. She's a black British actress who, from my mind, just slayed when she was in Doctor Who as the fugitive Doctor.
Yep.
Damn.
6 degrees of separation, man.
Damn, nice.
So obviously she's calling her sister. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm now related to the Doctor.
Of course.
What I'm telling everyone.
Yeah.
I tell people even more when I've been drinking. You know what I mean?
Nice. Wow, nice.
Yeah.
I like that one.
And now the next Doctor's a brother as well. It's only a matter of time, man, before we get the call as assistants.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, my letters to like Stephen Moffat's probably got lost in the post.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and he's forgotten me from the time I saved his ass at Sci-Fi Weekender. Say no more.
Yeah, short memories, man.
My other piece of news is that I just became aware that there's a revival of a series that I love. When I talk a series, I'm not talking about a TV show or a movie or whatever. I'm talking about books. And I'm not even talking about books. I'm talking about game books.
Ooh.
So we had we had all them fighting fantasy books back in the day, which blew our minds. Yeah, you could sit at home with a book and like make decisions and stuff.
Yeah. It's going to be the ninja one, is it?
No, because the ninja one was great. Yeah, but one came along which utterly blew them all out the water as far as I was concerned, which was the Kai series, Lone Wolf.
Oh yeah.
So because not only was Lone, because like in I think in Fighting Fantasy you did it and you read it and then you just turned to it, you made a decision and you could choose which way to go and choose whatever. But this one, you actually had to play with a dice and you had to make a character and all the rest of it. But more than that, it was a story. So book 2 continued the story from book 1. Book 3 continued the story. So it was Flight from the Dark was the first one, and Fire in the Water, and it was about an order of warriors called the Kai. And Lone Wolf, one of the guys, young guy, was on a mission, and we realized that the Dark Lords had returned and they were attacking the monastery. So he runs back to the monastery. Everyone's dead. He's the last one left. Yeah. So he decides to call himself Lone Wolf, and he needs to tell the king of Summerland, which is their land, to raise an army before the Dark Lords came. And that was what the book was about. Yeah, trying to get through. I love this series. So there was books 1 to 5 were called the Kai series, as he just followed his journey. And on the journey, he came across someone from a tribe of healers who was called Greystar. And so they were both on similar missions, going different ways, and their paths crossed. And then Greystar got his own series of 4 game books.
I don't remember those.
I do. But then, so 1 to 5 was the Kai series. And then books 6 to 12 was the Magna Kai series. So it says, continues to tell, with Lone Wolf now fledgling Kai master, striving to understand the Magna Kai teachings. The book of Magna Kai, however, is ancient and incomplete. To perfect his understanding, he has to journey, blah, blah, blah. But then war breaks out with the Dark Lords again. That's book 6 to 12. That's all I knew, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, there's the Grandmaster series. Books 13 to 20.
Wow.
Continues the story of Grandmaster Lone Wolf and introduces the restored order of Kai Lords. Blah, 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 blah. And then there's the New Order series.
Is this the new stuff?
Yeah, books 21 to 33. So Joe Diva, who initially started writing it, he kind of died, but before he died, not kind of died, he actually died. You know? And but he handed his notes over to his son Ben, who took, with the help of another writer, kind of finished the story.
Right.
So it's 33 books.
Wow.
And but they're all being done. They're all being remastered. They're bringing out new editions called like the Definitive Edition. They've got brand new covers which look boom. Yeah, they've kind of been redone. And the first one, they brought out in a hardback with like, you know, all the trimmings, new maps. And I was like, you know what, this book's £30, but I loved it so much. I've got to get back. I've got to. And they're just bringing out all kind of special. But what I didn't realise is that there's all sorts of things. They've had computer games, audio adventures, all sorts, man.
Wow. I only remember I think I only did the first couple. Because obviously it was back in the day and, you know what I mean, money was sparse.
Yeah. I mean? I've got the first 5.
Yeah, because I think I remember the first cover, because wasn't he was dressed like green, a bit like a kind of dude, wasn't he? Yeah. I do remember it, yeah. Yeah, and there was a lot of different. It wasn't because a lot of the other fighting fantasy ones you did play over dice, like the Ian Livingstone ones and stuff. But that one there was extras to it as well. It was a little bit like that kind of the ninja one. You had different skills and stuff. I think the Kai one was a similar thing, wasn't it? You could have different skills.
Yeah. So I'm putting a link in the chat for Zencastr, and if you just go and have a look at the new covers.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's tough.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that is tough, man. Yeah, shout out to the Caverns of Caverns.
Yeah, that one looks
proper, man.
Yeah, that looks kind of Balrog level, doesn't it?
Yeah. Wow.
So go on.
I was gonna say, my thing is like I'd love to get back into like the fighting fantasy and all these ones as well. And it's just the commitment to it.
I know, 33 books.
Not just that, it's me sitting, because part of the problem I had when I was a kid was with with the dice was kind of like having to sit there and add up numbers and stuff. I was never the best at maths.
Yeah, no, you're not alone.
Do you know what I mean?
Nah, but I don't know. I discovered it this week and discovered that it's happening, and they've got Kickstarters for various different things as well.
Wow.
And I was like, I'm just excited. I'm so excited. I could feel my like, however old I was when they first came out. It's just gone. What? Wow! I'm all over it.
To be honest, looking at that has brought back some memories because I do remember it from back in the day. It's interesting that they're doing it as an ebook as well. So they must. I'm interested to see how that works.
What do you mean?
How an ebook works? Because do you still play it with dice? Do they have dice as part of it?
No, I think it does. I think it just sort of smoothed out some of the things that didn't work quite so well and just kind of remastered it more than anything else.
Yeah.
It's my feeling.
Because I do think for me as well, because I know like a lot of people I know still do role playing, you know what I mean? They still play role playing and stuff like that. But it's difficult for me because, you know what I mean? I'm on my Jack Jones here, so I don't always get that option.
Yeah, likewise.
And I think that
I'd love to do some of that, but I ain't got those around me to do it.
No.
And also fitting it in with when you got kids and all of that.
Yeah. Cool.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. we should probably. I don't know how long we've got left actually, but time for.
We'll be going for 20 minutes. I just want to quickly give a bit of news. 2 bits of news quickly. First bit of news is next month is the Nice Con, which is over in Bedford.
Yeah, Jeff Parker.
Oh yeah, our boy Jeff. I went to the very first one of these, and sadly, I haven't been. I think I went to like the first 2. I might see if I can make it along to these ones.
When is it?
It's the Bedford. I believe it's the Bedford.
2nd and 3rd of September.
2nd and 3rd of September.
Okay.
Yeah. I know the venue, St Paul's Square, Bedford. Yeah, I'll put the link in the show notes for people. But it's got some good guests going like Andy Granoff, Alan Davis, Barry Kitson,
yeah.
David Roach, Dylan Teague, Jacob Phillips, Isak Rubik, John Wagner, Patricia Martin, Mike Collins,
Mark Buckingham.
Yeah.
Phillips. People.
They've got people, man. They've got people there, man.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So it's worth checking out. Got panels, the usual. And obviously we've got Thought Bubble coming up, but I will talk more about Thought Bubble in another episode because that's still a little ways off.
Cool.
And and week that was.
It's time for the week that was. Too much. Don't even know where to start. I've got TV, I've got movies, I've got audio, I've got books.
Do you know what? Only because you mentioned this before we started recording, and this might seem a strange place for us to start giving all of the blockbusters and all the stuff that's been going on. However, I went back to Titans on Netflix.
So did I.
Recently.
Yeah.
Right. So
I watched the first episode of the latest series.
When you say the latest series, that's season 4.
Yeah.
So you'd already watched season 3 then?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, so I hadn't watched... I'd seen season 2, and I think I'd started to watch season 3, and then I hadn't consciously stopped watching it. I think there was just other things I was watching, and it kind of fell by the wayside. And I'm trying to do this thing now where I'm almost like, right, pick a show, watch the show till it's done, especially if I know it's finished, and then move on.
Yeah. Likewise.
So, I've got to say... It's pretty tight, you know.
It is. I mean, I was just like, let me just check something.
Because the season, I've got to mention, like, I've only seen the first episode of season 4, but I've got to mention season 3 because they go to Gotham.
Yeah, and it all gets a bit full on.
It all gets a bit full on, but you see like Bruce Wayne and stuff like that. And other than the fact that, as my mum would say, it looks a bit mager to be Batman. Too mager.
No, I'll give you that. It's true.
You know what I mean? Acting wise, it's a good choice.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Acting wise, as an older Batman, he's running it. But I just kept thinking, I can't. I can't see you tussling with Bane. I don't know, man. You just you hit the weights a little bit more, man. However, I've never seen them kind of adapt to anything else. But man, that's how you do Dick Grayson.
Yeah. Also, that's how you do Wonder Girl, man.
Yes. Yeah.
Whenever she walks in, you just take everything seriously.
Yeah. She don't mess about, man.
Nah.
We really enjoyed season 3. I thought Barbara Gordon was great as well.
Yeah. I was struggling a bit with Tim Drake, who's going to be the new Robin.
Oh, yeah. Way too earnest, man.
Yeah.
Way too earnest.
Yeah.
Someone just needed to box him and just chill down, man. Just chill out a little bit. It's fine. Don't worry. We're going to train you. Just chill out.
Exactly.
And there's a couple of bits where he's there with like a stick, and everyone's there like all in their powers and stuff. And he just pulls out some stick, and he's like, "Ching!" It's like, dude, what are you going to do with that, man? Put it down.
Yeah.
Get people into trouble. But the thing that amazed me that people aren't talking about, right? Whenever they do any kind of DC property, when they reboot something or something, and like they do, like James Gunn is doing now, people automatically talk about who's going to get cast as Superman, who's going to get cast as Batman, who's going to get cast as Wonder Woman, who's going to get cast as Lex Luthor. Yeah. How on God's green earth did no one not make up no noise by the fact that Lex Luthor is in Titans?
Do you know what I mean?
And I've got to say, I would watch that Lex Luthor till the cows come home, man.
Yeah, for real.
Because did you ever watch a show called Bosch?
No, I never did.
But do you know the show?
Yeah.
But he's the guy from Bosch. He's the guy who plays Bosch.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
He's it. The way he's Lex Luthor, man. His intro when she's taking out people and my boy's just sitting there eating his dinner. It's just tough, man.
Yeah, that was an entrance, man. He didn't care. He was just like, yeah.
I think there's a bit where she's like roughing up his security guard. He actually gets up to get himself a drink, and then he comes back to his desk.
Yeah. And he's not even looking. He's like, he's not worried.
And I think she then comes in and says, this is a Shadow Double, blah, blah, blah. It's a fine vintage. Would you like a glass? I'm like, Starfire's a pleasure to meet you. And I've heard that your sister's gone back. And he knew all about her, not just who she was, but like all her back history, everything. And I was like, that's that. There we go, man. There we go.
Yeah. No, I'm into it. And the thing is, I watched, like you, I've watched the first episode of season 4. Mm-hmm. And I'm still struggling with Tim Drake.
Yeah, he's the weak link for me.
Yeah.
He's the weak link.
I'm just not buying him as being that useful.
No, I mean, there's going to have to be, put it this way, right? Normally, you can get by with a fight. I love a training montage, right? You can get by with a couple of minutes training montage, and I'm all good. With this kid, he's going to need a whole episode, man. Just a training montage. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before I'm going to be like, okay, yeah, I get it. Yeah. Okay, you're worthy.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah. It's not just the fact that he lacks the skill. It's just too much, man. He's just too much of everything.
Yeah. I'm not even blaming the actor.
No. It's just playing with the cards he's been dealt.
All right, I'm gonna go. So this is quite an interesting one because this is a next generation jobby, as in like one for the kids, but also one for the adults. So I started watching So I started watching a TV show called Silo.
Oh, this is Apple, isn't it? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, so Apple, I'm loving it. So I'm going to come back to that. Then I'm watching a movie with the kids called Nimona.
Oh, yes, I've heard about this. Yes, our boy Dennis was involved.
So Dennis Jose Francois is one of the animators. Is he CGI supervisor, animation supervisor? Yeah. Something important. Yeah, and this film it's an animated movie starring Chloe Grace Moretz and Riz Ahmed.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they did the voices.
Yeah, and it's just great because it's about this knight, and basically monsters attacked the kingdom a long time ago. So it comes over like a fantasy adventure, and then this woman called Glorith rises up and banishes the monsters, and then trains up a team of knights to protect the kingdom for time to come. And then it's 1,000 years later. Yeah, so you got flying cars, you got all sorts. Yeah, you got people who's got phones, but you still got that fantasy vibe going on.
Yeah.
And all the knights, the order of knights still exist, but they're all taken from noble families. And this one guy, he's a commoner, and the queen decides, this guy, he's we're gonna take a commoner into the ranks, and then it all goes to hell. I can't say anything else without spoiling the story.
Okay.
And this kid finds him and goes, "Hey, look, because you're a villain, you're a bad guy now, and so am I. We should team up." And it's just about redemption and about recognizing good and evil and the rest of it. And it is brilliant. Yeah, so we watched it here one night. And when I was putting my little one to bed, I came down, and Kira, my middle one, she'd watched half of it again. And I woke up in the morning, and she'd taken my iPad and finished watching it. And then while I was doing stuff, she'd watched it again. So she watched it 3 times in 2 days.
Wow.
Yeah, it is really, really good. The messaging is really good, but the messaging doesn't come at it.
It's not sledgehammer messaging.
It's not sledgehammer. It doesn't come at story. The story's there. The story's most important, and the message is there as well. And so I started thinking about Dennis, and I was thinking, you know what, Dennis, because Dennis, who kind of did the supervision, animation, and I was like, he gave me a book to read a long time ago, science fiction book called Wool, and I thought, let me get it down off the shelf. It's been on my to-read pile forever. Now I'm thinking about Dennis. Now's the time to give it a read. Mm-hmm. And what is it? Silo is an adaptation of Wool.
Oh, I think I had Wool, but I didn't read it.
No, me neither. I didn't even pay for it. Dennis gave it to me. But I was just like, yeah. Watch Nimona. Dennis is in it. Gave me a book. What's the book? It's based on this other series I'm watching. I was like, isn't that a small world? So, I mean, if you've got kids, I recommend Nimona. If you haven't, I recommend Nimona.
Okay, I'm on it. Because it was a comic, wasn't it? It's adapted from a comic.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really good, man.
Yeah.
It's really good.
So, before we move on to... Man, I've got so much stuff, man. So, I watched The Flash.
That's what I haven't seen yet.
So, yeah. So,
see, that's something I've heard equally great things and terrible things about.
Yeah, and I think here's my problem, right? Because I saw Indiana Jones 5, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which I really enjoyed. The problem was I went in with so much whispering in my ears. It affected my film viewing, which is why I'm really, really excited to watch it again.
Yeah.
So I can just watch it. And I think The Flash did this because I'd heard people... I hadn't really heard too many people really slating it. I just had people saying, like, it's the best thing since sliced bread.
James Gunn said it was the best superhero movie. Yeah.
The best superhero movie I've ever seen, blah, 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 and all this sort of stuff. I'm like, well, James Gunn, he does good film. Films I like, And I thought going into it, it's not going to be the best superhero movie I've ever seen, but I'm queuing myself up for enjoyment. And
oh man,
I enjoyed it, but and again I'll probably get roasted for it, but I don't care. I found it forgettable. That's pretty much all I could say. You know what I mean? I was entertained, but it didn't blow me away. I didn't sort of get to it. I was like, wow. And here's my reasoning. Right? So it's not a spoiler to say it is basically kind of a riff on Flashpoint.
Yeah.
When you've read the Flashpoint comics, but also when you've watched the Flashpoint animated film, this film don't even come near that. It doesn't even come near that one.
Listen, the problem is, from day dot, we've been saying the live action people need to sit down and take some notes.
Because when you watch... In this one, obviously he's messed up the timeline and blah blah, and I get, and yes, he has messed it up quite severely, but not as severely as he does in the animated one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because exactly. In the animated one,
end of the world, man.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, there's elements that here, but it's done in a different way to sort of tie it in with everything else. And I'm not bothered by the fact that this is kind of the end of like the Snyder stuff, and it doesn't really sit anywhere. I'm not bothered by that because a good film's a good film. And part of it for me is, I think part of it, your enjoyment is going to rise or fall on how much you like Ezra Miller's portrayal of the Flash. And he's all right. I prefer the guy from the TV series. That's me.
Yeah, likewise.
You know, and Michael Keaton, he was booming it as Batman. But my problem is as well, it's like, I almost felt there were a couple of times where people almost like they went, cut, yeah, it's great, man, but can't say the line. What do you mean? You know, say that, let's go, you know, you want to get nuts, let's get nuts, say that line. And he's like, well, I don't think that really fits, you know, because this is an older Batman and it's a little bit more, I want a bit more gravitas. No, that's not what people want, man. Say that line. You know that line, man. You know, let's get nuts. Say that line, man. Okay, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Yeah, that's it. Let's have that in there. And there was just too many bits like that. And I love the Batman music by Danny Elfman. You know,
yeah.
But it was like literally, if you was taking the shit, it was like, it's like, I get it, man. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It was like, it's almost like we've got Michael Keaton, we're gonna rinse him for as much as we can. We're gonna rinse the heck out of him. But it was an enjoyable film. It was an enjoyable film.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think you enjoy it once, and you'll probably tell me it was great. And I think now we're in this stage, I think, where having certain cameos, I'm not talking about Michael Keaton now, having certain cameos isn't going to like make me like the film better unless you use them cameos.
Yeah.
I want to see, we've moved on now. The days of Nick Fury just walking on and going, I want to talk to you about Avengers. That was cool as.
Yeah.
Now, we've moved on from that. I don't want to see someone just walking on there. Either that person's going to actually lend something to the film, or I'm not that bothered, really. It's just a nice to have type thing. So that's my review of the Flash.
All right. That was middling at best, man.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. And the Supergirl was good in it. She was good in it.
Okay. All right. No, I'm still looking forward. I was going to say I'm looking forward to it. I'd forgotten that I hadn't seen it. It's like, okay. All right. Yeah. Well, I've got the family's going away for about 10 days, so I might take that opportunity to go and catch up on things that I haven't seen.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do a comic, and then maybe we should do the main, or should we just go to the main? We run it out.
We're at 40 minutes. We're only done 40 minutes.
Okay, all right.
Look, hold up. Do the comic quickly, and there's one thing we've got to talk about before we go to the main.
I know exactly what that thing is.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to do a comic. Now, this is me catching up. Stop me if I've already talked about this, but I don't think I have.
Mm-hmm.
So this is me catching up very, very, very slowly on the comic haul I got at Thought Bubble last year.
Yeah, I still got to catch up on mine as well.
So there was someone, and I might have mentioned it, the first thing I saw when I looked over at her table was the hair.
Yes, you did mention. Yeah, you did mention.
Yeah.
It's Marcosia.
Yeah. No.
Oh.
No. The other one. No, she's indie. She's doing it herself. Okay. But the hair was gorgeous. It was stunning. It was voluminous. It had a life of its own. Yeah. And that was Sarah Gordon. And Sarah Gordon has done an anthology comic called Vicious Creatures. And the subtitle is 9 Tales of Woe and Misadventure.
Nice.
Yeah. And I would best describe this as 9 Tales of Gothic folk horror.
Okay.
And I did a very quick review on Goodreads, and I said, I said, incredibly atmospheric art with haunting and long-reaching storytelling that stays with you. Seductive and unfair, yet enthralling. And it's like, man. I know, innit?
You're using AI to AI write that for you.
Absolutely. AI, write me a review. But it's got titles like Queen Rat, A Broken Thing, The Salisbury Owl, The Lantern, Good Fortune, Bat Society, Sweetness, Mud, Darling. And it's like all of these stories, you're just reading it and you go, number one, the art is kind of very muted and dark colours. It is very colourful, but very muted and dark colours. And every time it runs, you're reading it and you're just like, no, I can feel it's coming. I can feel it. Don't go there. Why would you go at night to this place? Don't trust these people. And you're just spending the whole time on edge because you know it's about to go wrong in the most horrific and kind of like haunting ways. And it always does, but it does it in really nice ways. You don't always see it coming. And even once you do see it coming, you're just enjoying the journey if you like that kind of horror.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then I was like, number one, I always say, when people have the mind that think of these things, they always worry me a little bit. Yeah, and Sarah is no difference. And so what she did, she built a large wicker owl, in a private location in Northamptonshire. So that's near you, yeah? She put a large wicker owl. She put in it 2 tins full of letters, pictures. Oh, hello, sweetheart. You scared me? You scared? So my daughter's just turned up. I never heard her come in because I got my head. Just letting my heart just.
Starts, man.
Should you not be in bed, sweetheart? All right, night, my love. Love you. Right. So she built this wicker owl, put in it 2 tins full of letters, pictures, and general writings sent in from backers of the book's Kickstarter campaign. So that's also kind of magic stuff going on right there, yeah? Yeah. The contents of these offerings were secret, with only the author handling them. And then they burnt it.
This is in Northampton?
Yeah.
Do you know where?
No, it says a private location.
Man.
To quote what it says in the back of the book, this was, of course, an exceedingly stupid idea and the author does not recommend you try it at home. It goes, the owl's ashes were then mixed with the remains of the letter and used in drawing the comics you've just read.
Wow. Well, I'm not going to sleep right now.
Yeah, so and there's pictures of it at the back of the book, which are no less disconcerting than any of the stories that she's written. So I just thought that, and I go back to my review, full of stories that are unfair yet enthralling. Seductive, unfair, and enthralling sums this up for me.
Yeah, and all I took away from that is that somewhere in Northampton, someone burnt a wicker owl. Do you know what I mean? It could be, you know what I mean? That's my literal takeaway from that. I'm looking around my street now. Do you know what I mean? It could be anywhere.
Yeah, I'm a Sarah Gordon fan. That's all.
Okay, sounds good, man. That sounds good, actually. Right, before we get on to the main, we've got to talk about this film really quickly.
Go on.
So,
just for the tone of your voice, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I would say the premise of this story is: what do you get if you mix a hooker, a drug dealer, a pimp with a cloning conspiracy? You get
they clone Tyrone. No, you said it perfectly to me. It's like,
I'm going to get you, sucker.
It's like I'm going to get you, sucker, mixed with
Black Dynamite,
fashioned by what's his name?
Oh, John Carpenter.
Yeah, it's the kind of movie that John Carpenter would have made if he just watched Black Dynamite and I'm going to get you, sucker.
Yeah,
because it's not quite blaxploitation.
No, it's not far off.
It's not far off, but it's not really that.
No.
And it's just, and it's the lines. You said, I think you mentioned it on WhatsApp, and you said something along the lines of, I don't know if anyone's watching They Clone Tyrone, but James Fox has got some lines. And like 10 minutes, it took me like twice as long to get through the first half because I kept having to stop and go back and go, what did he just say?
I know. I think the film was like tight. I think the film's like an hour and 40 minutes. It must have taken me about 2.5 hours to watch the film because I just kept rewinding scenes. Man.
And I love the fact I spent the whole film going, who is Tyrone?
Yeah.
Say no more about that.
Yeah, say no more about it. But Jamie Foxx, man. The three leads in this.
So my thought about John Boyega was, It was a bit sad that he basically played an American version of his character from
Attack the Block.
Attack the Block. And I thought, yeah, I'm sure he's got more versatility than that. I know he has, but at the same time, he was brilliant.
He was brilliant.
So that crossed my mind, but what he was doing was great. When there was one scene where he's proper laughing, and I was like, there we go. It was just, it was great. It was great.
It's in the chicken.
It's in the chicken. I am. There was one.
Sorry, that scene. It's just, I'm not going to spoil it, but that scene. By the end of that scene, even though I knew what was going on was dodgy, I was like, man, I could go with a bargain bucket. And then saying, no, it's all part of the conspiracy.
I've never felt such marketing work on me before, so I was just like, man, I could use some crispy fried chicken right now. And the fact that the place was called Goddamn Fried Chicken, I was like, if I was ever going to set up a chicken franchise, that's what it would be called. Now you want some of this goddamn fried chicken.
So good.
And there's a bit where the hooker is trying to, like, you know, get some information out of a guy, and she's like, yeah, you get me some of this and I'll do a Shalimar on you. He's like, you do a Shalimar? And all I'm thinking, Shalimar's an 80s soul group, isn't it? What the hell? What the hell's a Shalimar? There was just so much. Do you know what? I don't have a single bad word to say about this film.
I don't. No. Nope.
I'm like, you know what? We ain't done ratings since the early days of Geek Syndicate, but I'm going 5 out of 5, man.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. Yeah. 2 thumbs up. I love this film so hard.
And even when you and my thing is that, you know, one of the bad guys is a cameo, but again, that's how you do a cameo.
Yeah.
And when you find out what's actually going on as well, I'm like, okay, that is another level that I wasn't expecting in that kind of a film.
Yeah.
So it works on a couple of little levels, but even though the three of them were brilliant,
they were, weren't they? They
Jamie
just worked.
Foxx, man. Jamie Foxx, man.
And despite all that stuff, the story hung together.
It hung together. It
was a good plot, man.
Yeah. It was good, man. I'm gonna have to watch that again, man.
No, absolutely. I was like, you're talking about it ain't enough, man. I've got to get it back on. Yeah. My wife was watching it as well. She was killing herself. It was so funny. And the thing is, and it was funny, but also the themes in it kind of made you angry as well.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I thought it was an impressive piece of work. They cloned Tyrone on Netflix. Right, yeah, okay, right. So it's time for our main. So we are hoping to go to the Arthur C. Clarke Award, which, if you don't know, is an annual award for science fiction book of the year in the name of Arthur C. Clarke, a classic science fiction author. Now, there are 6 books up for it who have been shortlisted this year. I haven't read any of them. I was thinking, can I read all of them by the 16th? Is it the 16th?
It is 16th, yeah. I believe it's the 16th.
Can I read all of them in 15 days? And the answer is no. So I'm not even going to try. But what I thought we'd do is we would have a look at the blurb. It's my first time reading them as well. And just get a first impression of what we think. So the first one that's up is called Venomous Lumpsucker by Ned Buman from Scepter.
Okay.
Apparently this is so one of the reviews here says a laugh out loud novel about mass extinction.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
So here's the blurb.
Okay.
The venomous lumpsucker is the most intelligent fish on the planet. Or maybe it was the most intelligent fish on the planet because it might just have gone extinct. Nobody knows, and nobody really cares either, except for 2 people. Mining executive Mark Halyard has a prison cell waiting for him if that fish is gone for good, and biologist Karen Resaint needs it for her own darker purposes. They don't trust each other an inch, but they're left with no choice but to team up in search of the lumpsucker. And as they journey across the strange landscape of near-future Europe, a nature reserve full of toxic waste, a floating city on the Baltic Sea, the lethal hinterlands of a totalitarian state, they're drawn into a conspiracy far bigger than one ugly little fish.
Well, I mean.
All right, I thought you said, I mean.
No,
like,
I mean, man. No.
Yeah.
That sounds tough, man. I might try and read that one, man. That sounds tough.
What they kind of got me with, and nobody really cares.
Yeah. No, and I do like a disaster book.
Yeah.
So no, I like the sound of that one, man.
That does sound good. I like that. Kindle edition's $2.99.
Yeah, because a lot of the ones we've done in the past as well, some of them have been a bit, making myself sound dumb, but a bit too like
conceptual.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Sometimes which has its place, but sometimes you just
Yeah. I just want disaster.
The second one is called The Red Scholar's Wake. It's by Aliette de Bodard, who is, I think she's brilliant. I've only read one book by her, a short story by her, but it was basically a remake of Holmes and Watson, but set in the far future where Watson was a sentient spaceship.
I think I remember you telling me this.
Yeah, it was great. So, the first character's name, I don't know how to say, so I'm just going to take a guess and hope I don't get crucified. Zich Si, bot maker, data analyst, mother, scavenger. But those days are over now. Her ship has been captured by the Red Banner pirate fleet, famous for their double dealing and cruelty. Zich Si expects to be tortured to death only for the pirates' enigmatic leader, Ricefish, to arrive with a different and shocking proposition, an arranged marriage between Zich Si and herself. Ricefish, sentient ship. Oh, the ship wants to marry. Okay. Ricefish, sentient ship, leader of the infamous Red Banner pirate fleet, wife of the Red Scholar. Or at least she was the latter before her wife died under suspicious circumstances. Now isolated and alone, Ricefish wants Zich Si's help to find out who struck against them and why. Marrying Zich Si means Ricefish can offer Zich Si protection in exchange for Zich Si's technical fluency, a business arrangement with nothing more to it. But as the investigation goes on, Ricefish and Zich Si find themselves falling for each other. As the interstellar war against piracy intensifies and the 5 fleets start fighting each other, they will have to make a stand and to decide what kind of future they have together. An exciting space opera and a beautiful romance.
I'm intrigued.
That's the word.
I'm intrigued. I am intrigued by that one. Off air, I don't get the love with the ship thing, but you know.
Well, I think so. If you look at the cover of the book, it's got a picture of 2 women standing together. So I think sentient ship can download its consciousness into a body.
Oh, okay, back in the room. Okay.
Yeah.
I was not quite sure that. I'm all, it takes all sorts to all that. I just didn't quite know how that worked out. But yeah, okay.
Yeah,
a little bit like I can't think. That's what I was originally thinking of, and I can't think what show it was. It wasn't Andromeda.
No, that did happen in Andromeda, I'm sure.
Did it?
Yeah.
What was it? Also happened in Legends of Tomorrow, didn't it?
Legends. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? So
yeah, it did.
Okay. No, cool. No, I like, and I'm always up for a space opera. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
2 for 2.
I love.
Two for 2. But the first one, if I've got to pick one that I'm going to read first, it's still the first one.
Cool. All right, then let's go to Pluto Shine by Lucy Kissick from Golan's. And it says, terraforming. The mega-scale engineering of a planet's surface to one more Earth-like is now commonplace across the solar system, and Pluto's is set to be the most ambitious transformation yet. 4 billion miles from the sun and 200 degrees below zero, what this world needs is light and heat. Through captured asteroids and solar mirrors, humanity's finest scientists and engineers are set to deliver them. What nobody factored in was a saboteur. But who and why? From the start, terraformer Lucian is intrigued by 9-year-old Nu, silent since a horrifying incident that shook the base and upended her family into chaos. If he could reach her, perhaps he could understand what happened that day and what she knows about the secrets of Pluto. Nu possesses unspoken knowledge that could put a stop to the terraforming. Gripped by her fears, unable to trust her family, there is no one she can talk to. Only through Lucian's gentle friendship will she start to rediscover her voice, and what she has to say could transform our understanding of the universe.
3 for 3, man.
Hey, innit?
None of them like ones in the past, and again, it's not a dig at all. Do you know what I mean? None of them have that kind of. Well, I'm trying to, what's my route in? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
All 3 of them, I'm like, yep.
Maybe that's and I'm thinking here, I'm just spitballing, maybe this is a result of COVID. Maybe people need something a little bit more grounded than the stuff that's gone before.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know what some of the thought process of how they came to the shortlist, because it does feel, these 3 already just feel a bit different to me.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Yeah, 3 for 3?
Yeah, 3 for 3.
Favourite still Venomous Lumpsucker?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so number 4, The Anomaly by Hervé Letellier, translated by Adriana Hunter. No one knows how it happened, but it'll change their lives forever. During a terrifying storm, Air France Flight 006 inexplicably duplicates. For every passenger, there are now 2, a double with the same mind, body, and memories. Only one thing sets them apart. While one plane lands in March, the other doesn't arrive until June. Nothing can explain this unprecedented event, but for each duplicate passenger, an impossible moment of reckoning awaits. If there are 2 of you and just one life, who gets to live it?
Okay. All right, now we got a game, man. Now we got a game. That's on, man. That's on.
Isn't it?
That, yeah. Wow.
I know. All right, next one. The Coral Bones by E.J. Swift. 3 women, divided by time, connected by the ocean. Marine biologist Hana Ishikawa is racing against time to save the coral of the Great Barrier Reef, but struggles to fight for a future in a world where so much has already been lost. 17-year-old Judith Holliman escapes the monotony of Sydney town during the 19th century when her naval captain father lets her accompany him on a voyage, unaware of the wonders and dangers she will soon encounter. Thelma Velasco is hunting for a miracle in a world ravaged by global heating. A leafy sea dragon, long believed extinct, has been sighted. But as Thelma investigates, she finds hope in unexpected places. Past, present, and future collide in this powerful elegy to a disappearing world and vision of a more hopeful future.
See, I like the sound of that one.
I like the sound of it. Sorry, go on.
But doubles, planes.
Yeah. I feel like I like the sound of it, but I feel like it's given me a little less to go on.
Yes. Yeah, I think you're right. I think the other ones are the more there's a lot more story there, as in a lot more what you're going to be getting, what you're diving into. Whereas this one, probably the premise was probably a bit more vague.
Yeah, and maybe that's just about the choice of blurb.
To pull you in, isn't it?
Yeah, but yeah, I like it. It would be bottom on my list to read so far.
Yeah.
Finally, Metronome by Tom Watson. Not all that is hidden is lost. For 12 years, Aina and Whitney have been in exile on an island for a crime they committed together, tethered to a croft by pills they take for survival every 8 hours. They've kept busy. Aina with her garden, her jigsaw, her music, Whitney with his sculptures and maps. But something is not right. Shipwrecks have begun washing up, supply drops have stopped, and on the day their punishment is meant to end, the warden does not come. Instead, a sheep appears. But sheep can't swim. Aina becomes convinced that they've been abandoned and that Whitney has been keeping secrets. As she starts testing the limits of their prison, investigating ways she might escape, she's confronted by decisions that haunt her past. Little does she realise that her biggest choice is yet to come. What?
Was that the blurb?
Yeah.
You did say a sheep, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It makes me think a little bit of Final Space. I don't know why.
Really? Okay.
Just because the whole kind of someone doing time and then their time coming to an end, but actually...
Yeah.
Again, like, intriguing, but I would put that along with the 3 women and the almost time travel-y one. I would put those 2 sort of together.
Yeah. Definitely intriguing, but I'm still a bit like, hey?
Yeah. I suppose my thing is, so first off, to kind of put all 5 of those, that's a strong.
Absolutely.
Other people might disagree. For me personally, as a personal reader, what I want to read, what I'm interested in, that is a strong list of titles.
Yep.
Every one of those titles, like in a certain set of circumstances, I would read. Some more, obviously some more than others. If you handed me that, the first one, was it the limp sucker?
The venomous lump sucker.
That one. I'd read. Yeah, that would be probably. I would have said top of my list until you told me the plain one. I think that's kind of edged it out because that's
the anomaly
kind of vibe.
Yeah.
That almost has like a kind of Twilight Zone vibe to it. So I would probably read that one first.
Let's put it this way. So let's say that. So without reading it, just going by the blurb, who wins for you? I know this is just a bit of nonsense because there's no way to tell.
Oh God. I would. I want to say the venomous lumpsucker one, but no, I would say the plain one because
and the anomaly.
Yeah, just because that's my bag.
And I think I really like the anomaly. I think the Red Scholar's Wake is like space opera, spaceships.
Yeah.
I think so. I think I'd go for that one, followed by the anomaly, then venomous lumpsucker.
Yeah.
What was Pluto Shine? Pluto Shine. Oh, it was the terraforming on Pluto one.
Again, that sounded really good as well.
Yeah, I know. It'd be good to go there, meet these people, get a little more insight.
I'm hoping. I mean, I'm kind of halfway through a book at the moment, but I'm hoping I can at least read 1 or 2 of these before we go.
Yeah, I'm halfway through a book as well, and I was like, maybe I'll just stop that and get on these. Yeah. Cool. All right. Nice.
Round us up, buddy.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, species around the multiverse, thank you for being with us once again. We're going to try and get to you much more frequently than we have been. But, as usual, let us know what you think about what we're saying. Do you drastically disagree with what we've said? Barry didn't like Ant-Man. I quite liked it. Which one of us is right? Come on, tell us, let us know. Yeah, of course. And the way to do it is to email us at thegeeks@geeksyndicate.co.uk or find us on social media. We are Geek Syndicate all over the place. If you like what we're doing and you want to contribute, we're on Patreon. We're on Buy Us a Coffee thing. Is it Ko-fi or is it? Because there's 2 of them. I always get them confused. It is Ko-fi.com. So find us. And be part of the syndicate. Until next time, Geek Syndicate, we out.